Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is January the 2nd. Happy New Year to everybody who is still tuning into the channel. I know my views have fallen off lately, and my subscribers don't really watch the kind of content I'm putting out anymore for World of Tanks and Armored Warfare, but I still like making the videos anyway. So this video is going to be about the differences being low tier in Armored Warfare and the differences being low tier in World of Tanks. So one of the things I found with the new rebalancing in Armored Warfare is you feel a lot more competitive when you're fighting higher tier vehicles, in my opinion. And there's a bunch of reasons for that. It's because the hit point system in this game has been changed. It used to be more like World of Tanks, where if you were tier 10, you had 3,000 hit points in the mouse, and then if you were a tier 8, you had 1,500 hit points. In this game, I have 2,285, and I'm going to run into a Merkava, and he's only got like maybe 400, 500 more than me. I think he's somewhere around 2,800, and it's kind of cool to see that most of the vehicles they're not that much different. You don't feel like you're automatically going to get your face handed to you when you're lower tier in one of these games. And you're not really that much slower. Your guns are all 125mm guns. The thing that mostly changes is the penetration values aren't as high on a lower tier vehicle for the shells and stuff, but the armor values for my vehicle, I still am able to bounce things every once in a while, and I'm not moving any slower than that Merkava is for being a main battle tank. So in this one, I'm in a T64 year 69 or something like that. It's a tier 5 MBT. It's one of my favorite vehicles. It looks really cool in this game. I like it a lot. So I'm driving up and just trying to support my friends here, and seeing what I can do to do some actual damages. And yeah, with the fact that the lower tiers almost do the same damage as the higher tiers do, I find that really cool. And that the hit points are all normalized, so there isn't really this. The aim times I don't find are much different. Like it just kind of feels like, okay, there's vehicles that are higher tier than me. They're more modern, but they just, they can penetrate me a little bit easier. But it's still not impossible for me to penetrate anybody else. Like I was able to penetrate that guy pretty easily. So it's because in World of Tanks, some people like. It makes it really hard sometimes to play World of Tanks, because if you're in a medium tank that doesn't have great pen, you're almost never going to pen anything that's a heavy tank unless you're going to get really lucky. So yeah, but between your penetration values being bad and for some medium tanks, like if you have like 180 pen and you have to fight heavy tanks frontally, you're going to be pretty bad off. And you don't necessarily have the mobility or the map size to try and, I don't know, move around and outmaneuver your enemies, just because of the corridor nature of the way the World of Tanks maps are made and designed. So you can see there this is a really cool looking tank. Like it's got all the cool ERA all over it and stuff, and it does save you quite a bit, and it's going to save me versus one of the smaller tanks come up in a second here, because I'm going to try to do a flank, because although this map is pretty corridory, it does afford you a lot of opportunity to try a different avenue, because there's lots. The map's fairly large, and that's one of the other things about Armored Warfare that's different. The maps are quite big, and they look better than World of Tanks presently before the new World of Tanks rolls out. Then it's going to be a lot more competitive. So I'm rolling down here, put a shot into this guy, hit the E-brake, and get turned around, and put a shot on this guy, bango, take him out. So pretty good result on that one there. But yeah, there's a lot of issues being the 2 tiers lower in World of Tanks, because your pen's not as good, your damage isn't as high, your DPM is crappier, your hit points are inferior, and honestly the tank tier for tier balancing is quite poor, and it does no attempt at doing any sort of skill-based matchmaking either. So you don't really get the feeling like you're able to influence a match in a tier 8 anywhere near as much as, in my opinion, as I feel I can in Armored Warfare. One thing I wish about Armored Warfare is because the maps are so much larger, I really do wish that, and the populations aren't as good. I wish that they would kind of lower the player count a little bit. Sometimes it gets a little bit, there's too many people in the same places, and I wish that it was maybe 12 on 12 or 10 on 10 in some of these matches, because not all the maps are super huge, but I'm kind of wishing that it was that way instead of the other way, the way it is kind of situated now. So that's just one of the things, the reasons why I like playing this, and because the tiers, I guess, pretty much tiers 4, like I still play some tier 4s, but not too much. But definitely, as soon as you get to tier 5, all the way up to tier 8, and then a little bit into tier 9, it's super, super fun, and you still feel really competitive. I don't like the tier 10 vehicles at all. They look like just stupider versions of the tanks that I already know and love from today. So, yeah, I just feel like you're still competitive in this game. And I know I didn't do the most damage by any stretch, but I was still doing pretty good for a tier 5 and a tier 7 game in this one. And it worked out pretty well. So that's one of the reasons why I still play Armored Warfare, and I still think people should give it a try because it's been rebalanced. It runs really well, and I really like the direction that it's going. And I just hope the player population increases for 2018. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and of my subscribers who are still sticking in there, and try and help the channel a little bit. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you like to support the channel, links are in the description and in the slides. All right, see you guys later. Cheers.